which will be recognizing the South Asian Radical History Walking Tour. And I believe we're joined this evening by Arreguin Chatterjee, and I believe also that Barnali Ghosh, who I'm proud to have appointed to both the Transportation Infrastructure Commission and Planning Commission, is an amazing community leader. I don't see Barnali on the attendee side. Arreguin, is Barnali here tonight, or will you be accepting the proclamation?
She is. She's getting on right now.
Okay, great. Oh, there's Barnali. Great. I will also promote Barnali over to panelists as well. Excellent. Okay, and give me 1 minute to share screen so I can pull up the text of the proclamation. And I think some of us on the City Council and on this virtual meeting have had the pleasure of participating in the Berkeley South Asian Radical History Walking Tour. And this year marks the 10th anniversary. And so we want to take this opportunity to recognize the work of Barnali Ghosh and Arreguin Chatterjee, who started the South Asian Radical History Walking Tour in 2012 to raise awareness of the rich history of our South Asian community in the city of Berkeley in the East Bay. So this proclamation is recognizing the 10th anniversary of the Berkeley South Asian Radical History Walking Tour. Whereas Barnali Ghosh and Arreguin Chatterjee created the Berkeley South Asian Radical History Walking Tour in 2012, and whereas the walking tour uses storytelling, visuals, and street theater to bring alive a century of Berkeley's South Asian organizing histories, including the first anti-racist protests in 1908, the creation of LGBTQ community spaces, the Ghadar Party's work to liberate India from British rule, the alliance of South Asians taking actions, intersectional feminist response to trafficking, and the anti-racist action by Muslim and Sikh students at Berkeley High School after the 9/11 attacks. And this tour has become a beloved Berkeley cultural institution, bringing 3,500 visitors from across the country to our streets over the course of 225 tours. Really amazing. And Chatterjee and Ghosh have conducted and shared extensive research on Berkeley's century-old South Asian American history, deepening and complicating public understanding of the people's history of Berkeley. And the project was also the catalyst for the naming of Kalabagai Way in downtown Berkeley, honoring Kalabagai and her resilience in the face of local and federal racism, and highlighting the importance of current efforts around housing and welcoming immigrants and refugees to our community. The walking tour helps participants connect with the San Francisco Bay Area activist groups and donates all proceeds from the walking tour to South Asian American civil rights, youth organizing, and public history nonprofits. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Jesse Arreguin, the mayor of the city of Berkeley, proudly recognize and commend the organizers of the Berkeley South Asian Radical History Walking Tour on their 10th anniversary. And I'm sorry that we cannot do this in person, but we're neighbors, so I will we'll connect getting this proclamation to you personally. And once again, just deeply grateful for 10 years of this incredible cultural institution that has really raised our awareness of the role of not just South Asians, but Asian Americans in the founding of our city. And so I want to turn it over to Arreguin and Barnali if you want to make any comments, and thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Barnali. Thank you, Mayor Arreguin, for this recognition, and to council members who have supported the tour over the years. I just want to make a short comment, and then I'll hand it over to Arreguin. So like many people who came on our tour, I used to think Berkeley's radical histories didn't include people who look like me. But we have 4 generations of South Asian activism on the streets of the city, starting with the first South Asian-led protest in 1908. And learning those stories have changed the way I think about the story of our city. Berkeley is a significant place in the history of South Asian California, but our community stories don't exist separately from others. Some of our participants' favorite stories are those that reflect on solidarities and connections between South Asian, Irish, Black, Indigenous, and other communities. This is Latinx Heritage Month, and we want to acknowledge that and use that as an opportunity to remember that a century ago, when South Asians were new to this country, Mexican communities welcomed us in. Punjabi men who were moving here during that time in the early 19th century were finding love and community and created family with Mexican women. If you go to the Stockton Gurdwara, which is the first Sikh temple in the US, which was co-founded in 1912 by Berkeley's own Kartar Singh Saraba, who was an activist here, but also part of the founding of the Sikh temple. You can still see photos of those families hanging on the walls. And with that, I'll hand it over to Anirvan to just finish our comment.
When we first started the tour 10 years ago, I'd go and flyer outside of the downtown Berkeley BART Dome, trying to get the word out. And 2 days ago, on this past Sunday, we ran our 227th history tour, bringing participants from across Northern California, and this weekend as far away as Illinois. In fact, some out-of-state visitors will literally time their visits to the Bay so they don't miss the tour. I want to share part of a note that a participant wrote to us after this Sunday's tour. In this note, she writes, "This tour filled me with so much knowledge and so many emotions that validate my existence in this country. I'm leaving with a stronger sense of community and integration into Berkeley." For me, comments like this is what it looks like when we're able to make space for deeper, more complicated stories about our city. So thank you again, Mayor Arreguin, and to council members for your support.
Thank you so very much. I'm going to now recognize Councilor Droste, I think wants to make a comment.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for allowing me to make some comments. You know, I just really want to thank Barnali and Anirvan for their work. You're truly multi-talented treasure in Berkeley. You know, oftentimes when I talk to people about Berkeley and the people I love in Berkeley and what makes it Berkeley, I think of you two, and that's the God's honest truth. I think you're perfect examples of Berkeley activists. You're thoughtful, you're kind, you use your abilities to educate people. And I'm so grateful for your service to this community. I think sharing this history is really crucial and important for elevating voices that for too long didn't get the recognition that they deserved. And it's now a Berkeley institution. So I just really want to thank you for educating people and engaging people and being just magnificent residents of Berkeley. So thank you so much. I appreciate all the work you're doing to educate people, not only about this history, but just your overall activism, your dedication to draw attention towards hate incidents, for instance, after the 2016 election. I just really think that you embody everything that is wonderful about Berkeley. So congratulations. It's an honor well deserved.
Thank you, Councilor Robinson.
I will not be as eloquent as Lori, but I won't let this moment slip by without saying hey and congratulations. Anirvan and Barnali, thank you so much for carrying these stories and for sharing these stories. I've learned so much from you about this city that we love so much, and I know so many in our community feel the same way. Decade, that's incredible. Congratulations. Glad you made it on tonight.
Thank you, Councilor Kesarwani.
Yes, I just want to echo the congratulations to Anirvan and Barnali on 10 years of sharing this important history. And you know, I am been saying lately, I'm the first South Asian American to serve on this Berkeley City Council, but Kala Bagai preceded me by more than 100 years. And to see a street named after somebody who looks like me, you know, that was not something I had growing up. And my son now gets to see that street name. And it really does matter because it makes you feel that you are really American when people sometimes try to deny that and say that you are not. To have a street named for someone with a name like Kala Bagai, it really does mean something. And so I just want to thank you for your activism, for sharing radical South Asian history, which is also our American history. We don't often get that in our textbooks. And so I appreciate that you are filling that important gap and helping people recognize that. So thank you very much.
Councilor Taplin.
Thank you very much. I've actually gone on one of the tours, and I actually got to hear about one of my own mentors at Berkeley High, Darine Rasaya, who was a radical South Asian woman activist, who was my video teacher in CAS at Berkeley High, and having that kind of full circle moment really was powerful for me. As you know, as younger people, as people of color, as folks who were raised and trained in spaces of radical discourse, we are sometimes questioned about our ability to effectively create change within existing frameworks. And, you know, being out there with the tour and the folks there and sitting in those stories and revisiting those spaces of my youth really was fortifying, and I'm so grateful to have had that experience, and I just want to thank the both of you so much.
Thank you. Once again, we're just so deeply grateful. You know, I hear often from Berkeley residents and visitors about how meaningful the tour is. I do agree. It really, I think, is in keeping with Berkeley's values. And the work you've done to raise awareness of the rich history of our South Asian community here in Berkeley and the East Bay is really appreciated. And thank you for your service, not just through the work with the tour, but your ongoing activism and service to our community. So I will coordinate with you to get this to you in person. And really thank you so much for joining us tonight. And thank you for all that you do for our community. All right, thank you. Okay, so that completes ceremonial matters for this evening. So we'll proceed to the next order of business, which is city manager comments. I'd like to ask our city manager, Dee Williams-Ridley, if you have any comments for the city council and the public this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. No comments this evening.